AITA for breaking up with my partner because of his unresolved feelings for his ex, even though he technically never cheated. Hi Reddit. This is going to be long, but I feel like I'm losing my mind and I need to know if I did the right thing or if I'm actually the asshole. Please bear with me because I'm still emotionally all over the place and I've never really written anything like this before. Some background first. Me, F27. My ex-partner, Jake, M29. His ex, Maya, F29. Jake and I had been together for 3.5 years when everything finally fell apart. When I met him, he was just getting out of a long-term relationship with Maya. They were together for almost 6 years. According to him, it was mutual and amicable, and they just grew apart. He even joked early on that it was the most boring breakup in history. I took it at face value. For the first year of our relationship, things were pretty great. He was funny, thoughtful, the kind of guy who remembered my coffee order and always made sure I got home safe if I went out with friends. I genuinely felt like I'd found someone stable. Not exciting in a manic, obsessive way, just safe. Comfortable. That kind of rare compatibility people say you should never take for granted. But in hindsight, I think I ignored a few red flags. Little ones at first. Things that felt off but not wrong. Just weird. It started with how often he brought Maya up. Always in a positive light. Always casually. Maya used to love that movie. Or, Maya's dog was the same breed. Or, this reminds me of the time Maya and I got lost in Lisbon. And I told myself, hey, that's healthy. He doesn't hate his ex. That's supposed to be a green flag, right? I only started getting uncomfortable around the 1-year mark when I finally asked, do you guys still talk? And he hesitated. Not long, not dramatically. But it was an instant. That microsecond pause that feels like a crack in the floor. He said, every now and then. Just as friends. We check in sometimes. And again, I told myself, okay, that's fine. They were together for 6 years. Some people stay friends. That doesn't mean anything's wrong. But the thing is, he never mentioned it again. Which meant if they did talk, he wasn't telling me anymore. I didn't press it. I didn't want to be the jealous girlfriend. God, I hate how afraid I was of that label. Like it's the worst thing a woman can be. I buried that discomfort because everything else still felt good. He still made me laugh. He still showed up when I needed him. I figured if something were wrong, I'd know. Turns out I was wrong about that. Fast forward to about 1.5 years into our relationship. We were at his apartment hanging out on a Saturday afternoon. I was sitting on the couch while he was in the kitchen. His phone lit up on the coffee table, and I instinctively glanced at it. I didn't mean to snoop, it was just muscle memory. The message preview said, Maya, I miss talking to you like this. It's been so long since we... And then the rest was cut off. My stomach dropped. I don't even remember how I reacted at first. I just stared at it. It felt like my blood was humming. The kind of vibration that doesn't feel like adrenaline yet, just confusion. Jake came back in the room. I didn't even try to pretend I hadn't seen it. Why is Maya texting you that she misses talking to you? He looked surprised, but not guilty. More like annoyed. Like I just caught him doing something he thought I shouldn't be upset about. He shrugged and said, we were just catching up. It's not a big deal. She's going through a breakup and needed someone to talk to. That answer didn't sit right with me. You told me you barely talk. This doesn't sound like barely talking.
Jake.
Okay, we've been talking more lately. But it's not like that. She just needed a friend. Me. A friend who tells you she misses talking to you like this? He just shook his head. You're reading into it. You don't know our dynamic. That sentence stuck with me. You don't know our dynamic. It sounded so cold. So dismissive. I wanted to scream, of course, I don't know your dynamic, because you won't tell me what it is. We fought for hours that night. And he finally admitted that they'd been talking more frequently over the past few months, not just checking in. They'd been texting regularly, as he put it, but nothing inappropriate. When I asked to see the messages, he refused. I'm allowed to have private conversations. You either trust me or you don't. I didn't see the messages. I let it go.
God knows why.
I think I was scared that if I saw them, I wouldn't be able to unsee it, that I'd have to end things. And I wasn't ready. I regret that so much. Things changed after that. Or maybe I just started seeing things more clearly. Jake became quieter, more withdrawn. He was still there, but not really with me. If that makes sense. We stopped doing the little things. No more spontaneous late-night walks. No more music on in the kitchen while cooking dinner. We were coasting. When I brought it up, he blamed work stress. Said I was being dramatic. That not everything needed to be movie-level romance. He said I was being too sensitive, that I always overanalyze things. I started wondering if I was the problem. Around that time, I saw Maya had liked a bunch of his Instagram posts, not just recent ones, but old ones. Like, deep scroll level. I know that sounds petty, but it felt intentional. So I brought it up again. Asked him, plainly, calmly, if he still had feelings for her. He got furious. Are you serious right now? You're jealous because she liked a photo from a year ago? What are you, 12? No answer to the actual question. Just deflection. Rage. And I backed off again. I'm honestly ashamed of how much I gaslit myself during this time. I kept thinking, he's never cheated. He's never lied to my face. Maybe I'm just insecure. Maybe this is what mature relationships look like. Quiet, boring, less intense. But it didn't feel like love anymore. It felt like waiting. Waiting for something to come out. Waiting for him to choose. 2 months ago, it finally happened. We were at a small party for his friend's birthday. Jake was drunk, like, slurring his words drunk, which was rare for him. I was helping him into an Uber when he turned to me and said something that still haunts me. You'll never understand me like she did. He passed out in the car before I could even respond. He didn't remember saying it the next day. Or, at least claimed not to. But I saw his face when I told him. He went white, completely drained of color. He didn't deny it. He just said, I didn't mean it like that. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. But it did. I knew it did. Drunk words, sober thoughts. I finally told him I was done. That I couldn't be in a relationship where I constantly felt like the second choice. That I wasn't going to keep pretending we were okay when it was obvious his heart was somewhere else. Maybe with someone who used to know him better, maybe with someone who still does. He didn't fight me. Not really. He just looked sad. Said he wasn't ready to let go of the past, but he didn't want to lose me either. That he thought he could handle both. I told him he couldn't. That it was never my job to fix the hole she left behind. So, AITA? I didn't find any physical cheating. No explicit texts. Nothing I can point to and say, here's the proof. But emotionally, it felt like he was never really mine. Like I was just a stand-in while he sorted himself out. So, Reddit. AITA for breaking up with my partner because of his unresolved feelings for his ex, even though he technically never cheated? Update. I wish I could say that ending it with Jake felt like closing a door. Like turning a page. It didn't. It felt like yanking my own arm out of a wolf trap. Necessary but brutal. Messy. Bleeding. The day after I ended things, I stayed at my friend Nish's apartment. She literally shoved wine and pizza into my hands and told me not to cry over someone who never really chose me. But I cried anyway. Not because I missed him. Not exactly, but because of the way it ended. The way he let it end. He didn't show up at my door. Didn't call. No grand apology. No closure conversation. No attempt to fight for me. Just radio silence. After almost 4 years together, that was it. Exactly 5 days after I left, Jake texted me at 2:13 a.m. Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't know how much I was hurting you until it was too late. You were right. I never fully let her go. But I'm trying to now. Please talk to me. That one message hit me like a truck. I stared at it for what felt like an hour. My thumb hovered over the keyboard so many times. To say what? I told you so. Thanks. Too little, too late. But I didn't reply. Not right away. I left him on read. The next week was a mental battlefield. I started doubting myself all over again. Maybe I'd been impulsive. Maybe I didn't give him enough space. Maybe if I'd just been more patient, he would have come around. I started remembering the good things. The time he stayed up all night helping me study for a certification exam. The way he used to tuck my hair behind my ear when I was half asleep on the couch. Memory is such a manipulative thing when you're lonely. But the same thoughts always came creeping back. You'll never understand me like she did. Him refusing to show me their texts. Calling me dramatic, sensitive, jealous. These weren't the actions of someone who made a mistake. They were the habits of someone emotionally unavailable, maybe even emotionally dishonest. I kept thinking, I was not breaking up with a man for being human. I was breaking up with him for being unavailable and unwilling to do anything about it. About 2 weeks post-breakup, Jake's friend, let's call him Brendan, reached out to me. We weren't super close, but we'd hung out enough that I knew he liked to play therapist after 3 beers. He messaged me on Instagram. Brendan. Hey, not trying to get in your business, but Jake's been a wreck. I've never seen him like this. You meant a lot to him. Just thought you should know. This felt weird to me. Like, if Jake wanted to talk, he could. He had. I just hadn't responded yet. So, why was Brendan stepping in? I told him politely that I appreciated it, but I wasn't ready to talk to Jake. Brendan waited a beat and then said, I don't know if he'll ever admit this, but he thought you were going to stay no matter what. He thought you'd always be there while he figured things out. That line hit like a slap. He thought I'd always be there. Like I was a placeholder. Like my love was a free trial version of something he could upgrade when he was ready. It made me nauseous. I wish I were making this part up. I really do. About a month after the breakup, Maya messaged me. Yes, his ex. I had never spoken to her directly. Ever. She and Jake still followed each other on social media, but we never interacted. She messaged me on Facebook of all places who still uses Facebook. With this.
Maya.
Hey, I know this is out of the blue and probably inappropriate, but I heard you and Jake split.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I hope you're okay. I stared at it like it was written in a different language. How did she know? Why did she think it was her place to reach out? Was Jake talking to her again? I responded very simply. Thanks. I'd prefer not to talk about it. She liked the message and didn't reply again. But just her reaching out told me everything I needed to know. He went back to her. Maybe not officially. Maybe not in some romantic reunion kind of way. But emotionally, I could feel it. I could feel him drifting back into that familiarity, that old dynamic he told me I wouldn't understand. And I realized he never actually left. One night, and I swear this was not intentional, I ran into Jake at a mutual friend's party. It had been almost 2 months since the breakup, and I didn't even know he'd be there. He looked not great, like someone who hadn't slept much. He gave me this half smile, like he didn't know if he was allowed to be happy to see me. I kept my cool, gave him a polite nod, avoided conversation. But later, he came up to me when I was grabbing my coat.
Jake.
Can we please talk? Just 5 minutes. I didn't want to, but part of me did. So I said yes. He pulled me aside into the kitchen and leaned against the counter like we were back in his apartment, making pasta at 11 p.m. again.
Jake.
I'm sorry. For everything. I was selfish. I didn't realize how much of myself was still stuck in the past until I lost you. Me. You didn't lose me.
You didn't choose me.
His face crumpled a little, like it hadn't occurred to him that this was a choice all along.
Jake.
I never wanted to hurt you. Me. But you didn't want to stop hurting me either. That's the part one can't forgive. He nodded slowly, said he understood. Then, right before I walked out, he said, She's engaged now. Maya. To someone else. I found out 2 weeks ago. It messed with my head more than I thought it would. And just like that, it all clicked. The messages. The avoidance. The sudden, increased communication before our split. She was pulling away and he panicked. It wasn't that he still loved her. It was that she still had power over him. And I was just collateral. Since then, I haven't spoken to Jake again. Maya blocked me on everything a few days after I left her on read.
Not sure why.
Don't care. Jake still follows me on Instagram, but never interacts. Sometimes I wonder if he watches my stories. I never check. I've been focusing on myself, therapy, books, long walks, journaling like a teenager. It's not pretty. It's not empowering in that glossy, post-breakup TikTok way. It's painful, slow, sometimes humiliating, but it's real. Update. He used you as a standby girl. That's what my roommate said after she read the AITA post I wrote. Nisha doesn't sugarcoat things. She's one of those people who'll yank the phone out of your hand when you're spiraling and say, "Girl, give me that before you text something dumb." She waited until I'd had some food in me and said, with her usual calm deadpan, "You weren't the second choice. You were the backup plan." Big difference. That hit like a slap, because I think part of me always knew. But hearing someone say it out loud made it real. It wasn't just emotional neglect. It was emotional insurance. I was the just-in-case girl. The one he loved enough to keep, but not enough to fully choose. And after reading the AITA comments, hundreds of them, it's not even a question anymore. The top comments were a mix of support and pure rage on my behalf. Things like, "NTA, he emotionally cheated on you for years and tried to convince you you were the crazy one. He didn't choose you. He settled for you while waiting to see if his ex still wanted him. Run and don't look back. You weren't the girlfriend. You were the emotional nurse while he kept Maya's ghost alive." One person wrote something that literally made me sit down on the floor. "You weren't jealous of his past. You were reacting to being actively replaced by someone who wasn't even in the relationship anymore."
That.
Right there. That was it. I'm not proud of this, but I think I hate Jake now. Not just because of what he did, but because of how long I tried to protect him. How long I defended him, to myself, to my friends, to my own damn instincts. I hate that he let me believe I was being irrational. I hate that he kept me emotionally hostage while he sorted through his feelings for someone else. And most of all, I hate that I was so damn nice about it. So, yeah, it's not heartbreak anymore. It's rage. Cold, justified rage. So here's where it gets weirder. Remember Brendan, Jake's buddy who messaged me after the breakup? Well, a few days ago, I ran into Brendan's girlfriend, Rachel, at a local event. We ended up having drinks after, and I kind of nervously brought up that weird message Brendan had sent. Just casual. "Hey, that was kind of strange, huh?" She looked at me like I'd told her gravity stopped working.
Wait.
"He messaged you? After the breakup?" I nodded. "Yeah, he said Jake was a wreck, and that he thought I'd always be there." Rachel looked furious. "He told me you two broke up because you were cheating. He said you were texting an old coworker, and Jake found out." I froze. No words. No breath. Just that whooshing sound in my ears that usually only happens when your brain is trying not to explode. "Jake told people I cheated." Rachel kept talking, her voice shaking. I never believed it, honestly. It didn't line up.
"You're not like that."
But Brendan took his side, said Jake was heartbroken and humiliated. So not only did Jake emotionally betray me, here he wrote the ending to make himself the victim. I got home and sobbed. But not because I was sad. I was furious. This man didn't just use me. He used me and then smeared me. 2 days later, Jake left a box at my doorstep. No text. No knock. Inside, one of my sweatshirts. A notebook I used to write in. A letter. I almost threw the whole thing out without reading it. But of course I did. The letter was 4 pages long. Here's the short version. Jake claimed he was trying to respect my space but that he couldn't stop thinking about me. He said I saw him more clearly than anyone else ever had, and that it scared him. He admitted to feeling confused when Maya got engaged and said he panicked, but that it made him realize she wasn't the one.
He ended it with,
"I didn't know how much I loved you until I lost you. I want to fix this. I'll do the work. Please give me one more chance." And I swear to God, I laughed. Out loud. Sitting on my floor. Alone. Laughing like a lunatic. Because after everything, the gaslighting, the emotional neglect, the lies, the smear campaign, now he loves me?
No.
What he loves is not being alone. What he loves is having someone in the wings. What he loves is himself, and the version of himself that feels better with a loyal woman standing beside him while he plays emotional roulette. I had to sit with this one. because it would be easy to make this entire story about him. But the truth is, I allowed parts of this. Not because I'm weak, but because I'm wired that way, to give benefit of the doubt. To over-explain other people's behavior. To be cool and unbothered so I don't scare people away. I grew up watching my mom justify every horrible thing my dad did with, well, he didn't mean it like that. I absorbed that. I became that. Jake didn't brainwash me. He just activated something I hadn't unlearned yet. So no, I'm not taking the blame for what he did. But I am taking responsibility for the part of me that kept accepting it. I didn't respond to Jake's letter. Instead, I wrote my own, not for him, but for me. I burned it on my balcony with Nisha watching. She handed me the lighter and said, "You're not his shadow therapist anymore.
You're not his fallback plan. You're you."
And that's enough. And I finally believed it. Update. I was done being polite. What changed everything? Rachel, the girlfriend of Brendan, Jake's friend who lied for him. She called me 2 days after our talk, voice trembling with fury. I confronted Brendan. He admitted it. Jake told all of them you were cheating and that he broke up with you because you were emotionally abusive. I had to sit down. "I'm not letting him get away with this," she said. "And neither should you." So we planned it. We compiled texts, screenshots,
Proof.
we pulled every receipt I could find. Rachel even forwarded voice notes Brendan had sent to Jake that contradicted his story, him saying, "I don't know why you're still hung up on Maya when she treats you like gold." We sent the truth to everyone. Not in a messy, drama-drenched group chat. We were methodical. Every friend, every mutual, every person he used to poison the well got a personalized message. No insults. No theatrics. Just the truth. Just evidence. Here's what he told you. Here's what really happened. Here's why I left.
Do what you want with that.
The reactions were mixed. Some apologized. Said they had no idea. Said they believed him because he seemed so broken. One guy, I won't name him, wrote me this long, overly emotional apology saying he had once been a Jake and hoped I found peace. Brendan blocked me. Rachel broke up with him. Apparently, Jake flipped when he found out. Tried calling me, then texting, then emailing. I didn't respond. I wasn't done yet. There was a mutual friend's engagement party happening the following weekend, and I knew Jake would be there. I hadn't planned on going. But then I thought, why should he get to keep walking around acting like he's misunderstood while I stay quiet in the background like I'm ashamed of something I didn't do? So I went, in a red dress, with winged eyeliner sharp enough to commit crimes. And when I saw him, I smiled. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. I didn't approach him at first. I waited. And sure enough, he came over like he always did, expecting calm, expecting softness, hoping I still had space in me for the version of him he wanted to believe in.
Jake.
I just wanted to say I saw what you did, the messages. That was really unnecessary. I tilted my head. Unnecessary? You told people I cheated. You let your friends think I broke your heart while you were busy writing love songs to your ex in secret.
Jake.
I never meant for it to go that far. I was hurt and I held up a hand. Loud enough now for the people near us to hear. You were hurt? You were hurt. Maya got engaged, and suddenly I stopped existing. You let her string you along like a pathetic little safety net, and while she was ghosting you, you kept me warm in the background like a heating pad for your broken ego. People were quiet now, a few turning to look. I kept going. And guess what? Even Maya left you. She still didn't want you. You lied to me for years, and you still came in second place. Doesn't that tell you something? Jake looked like he might cry. Or scream. Or both. But I wasn't done. You used me. You used me to fill the space she left behind, and then had the audacity to smear my name like I was the villain when I finally walked away. And now you want me to feel bad? To feel sorry for you. He opened his mouth, but I cut him off. Don't you dare ever come near me again. Not in person. Not online. Not through your friends. You lost your second chance the moment you started using me as emotional collateral for a relationship you never healed from. And then I smiled. And I walked away. I swear to God, someone clapped. After that, he went quiet. No more messages. No more emails. No more damage control. Apparently, a few of his friends distanced themselves. Not because I asked them to, but because when people see the truth, they can't unsee it. Rachel and I still talk sometimes. She said she's proud of me. She's moving out next month and starting fresh.
Me?
I've started writing again. Real writing. Not just journaling pain into spiral notebooks, but actual stories. I signed up for a writing workshop, and I'm planning a solo trip in the spring. For the first time in months, I feel clean. Not confused. Not haunted. Not bitter.
Just done.
Here's the truth I needed to learn. Not everyone who treats you kindly is kind. Not everyone who says they love you knows how to love. And not everyone who cries is sorry. Sometimes they're just scared you finally saw the real them. Jake didn't ruin me. He revealed me. He showed me the version of myself that says, I'd rather be alone than be someone's backup plan. And I will never unlearn that again.